if you're numb to that, you shouldn't be. And today seemed different. Let me tell you why. The president not only went off on Robert Mueller, referring to him, as you just heard, as a forever never Trumper, and telling a lie about Mueller and Trump and the FBI, and we'll fact check that in just a moment, he also went off on China and the late Senator John McCain again. And then he walked back a tweet from this morning where he basically acknowledged for the first time that Russia helped get him elected. A tweet he has since deleted. Here's the walk back.
No, Russia did not help me get elected. You know who got me elected? You know who got me elected? I got me elected. Russia didn't help me at all.
I got me elected, he says. Well, you and the 62,984,825 Americans who voted for you and the 306 electoral votes. But I digress. In true reality TV form, he then teased a major statement today on the U.S.-Mexico border. We are standing by for that. Also standing by for us this afternoon over at the White House is CNN's Caitlin Collins. And Caitlin, let's jog back to the Trump claim that Mueller wanted to be his FBI director, and that is simply not true. And Trump's former campaign chairman is the one who told Mueller the truth. What did he say?
Yeah, this is a claim the president has made for some time, that Robert Mueller was conflicted and therefore he should have never served as the special counsel, even though, Brooke, we've seen the president flip-flop on whether or not Robert Mueller acted honorably. Something the president once said yes, that he did, and now the president says no, he did not. Now, as far as these conflict claims the president is making, they stem from several things. One, over a dispute over fees from a Trump-owned golf course. Two, over the fact that Robert Mueller came in and interviewed to be the FBI director. And three, because this law firm that he used to work for represented some of the people involved in this investigation. But if you read the Mueller report, Brooke, it lays it out pretty clearly, even from the words of Steve Bannon, that he said that he did not agree that Robert Mueller was conflicted for any of those reasons. And he told the president as much, including the claim about the golf fees, that he said that was petty and ridiculous. Now, as far as the FBI director, this actually really shows you about that interview that the president said Robert Mueller had, where actually Steve Bannon said that Robert Mueller was brought in to give a perspective on the institution of the FBI. That's in the Mueller report. He also said that in Bannon's words, Mueller did not come in looking for the job, and Bannon also told the president that the law firm position did not amount to a conflict in the legal community. Now, of course, Brooke, we should add that Justice Department ethics lawyers also reviewed whether or not Robert Mueller was conflicted and whether he could serve on the job, and they cleared him of any potential conflicts of interest. So this claim that the president made this morning, one day after Robert Mueller refused to publicly exonerate him, is just simply not true.
Caitlin Collins, thank you very much. Jamie Gangel is CNN's special correspondent, and CNN contributor Michael Dantonio is a Trump biographer who wrote the book, The Truth About Trump. So, welcome to both of you. And Jamie Gangel, we have seen presidential rants many times over. Right. But this seemed, as I pointed out off the top, different. And to quote General John Kelly, crazy town.
Right. And let's remember, John Kelly was his chief of staff, so let's take him at his word. I think we have to say every day, this is not normal. And even by Donald Trump standards, today was bizarre. Not too long ago, he was calling Robert Mueller, as Caitlin said, honorable. Yep. But today, what we saw, I mean, it was 18 minutes, and it's worth going back online and watching it again for those who haven't seen it. But I think what we're seeing is it comes down to a key phrase. He said, I thought this was finished. He thought it was over when the report came out, and it's not. Last week, Nancy Pelosi got under his skin. This week, Robert Mueller got under his skin.
We'll get back into the anger that was on display today. But Michael, just to you, as a man who, you know the man, you wrote a book about the man. This morning there, what was that?
Boy, I think this was a case of the president being confronted by a reality that is impossible for him to accept. And so he reverted to his fantasy world. And in his fantasy world, he can say whatever he wants to say and accuse Mueller of things that aren't true and distribute lies that have been disproven over and over and over again, and believe that we're going to accept them. And I think what you said at the start of the program about how we shouldn't expect anything different, but we also shouldn't let our guard down and become exhausted by this is absolutely essential, because we're in the real world and he's the one occupying unreality.
Yes. You used the phrase fantasy world. Jamie, to you, I think part of President Trump's, do I say genius, is the fact that he is able to come out and say something over and over and over and over. He did it when he was running for president. He does it as president. Right. And it sort of sticks.
It is his genius. It is branding. It goes back to his days as a salesman.
Yes.
And let's just say that as reporters, it's very hard to cover him when he does this. We fact check him over and over and over again. But we usually, in the normal world, don't say someone is a liar, because that says intent. We say a mistake was made, falsehood. That's not correct, falsehood. So I think it is critical to go through each time and do fact checks. The other thing is, I live in the state of Florida, which voted for Donald Trump, and I was just there and I was talking to a lot of people, all different walks of life. They say they're going to vote for him again. They do not care. They acknowledge that he's not telling the truth. Some people are going to vote for him again because it's transactional. They like what he did on taxes. They like what he's doing on immigration. Some people just said to me, I think he's entertaining. But this is not good for democracy.
No,
right?
It's not. No, it's not. Let me just answer your rhetorical question. And Michael, to the point about his anger, right? I wonder if part of it has to be, right, that Speaker Pelosi, this is the talk of impeachment, and that Speaker Pelosi is saying that Trump is goading Democrats, is daring Democrats into impeaching him, that he wants it. But let me just play what he said.
I never thought that would even be possible to be using that word. To me, it's a dirty word, the word impeach. It's a dirty, filthy, disgusting word, and it had nothing to do with me. So I don't think so, because there was no crime. It's high crimes and, not with or. It's high crimes and misdemeanors. There was no high crime and there was no misdemeanor. So how do you impeach based on that?
And again, just reminding everyone, if he thinks the word impeachment is the dirty, filthy, disgusting word, and we know where he grabs women, according to the Access Hollywood tape, and we know what he thinks of certain African countries. I don't need to curse on this show. We all know what he said, and yet this is the bad word. That said, Michael, does this sound like someone who wants to be impeached because he looks mighty angry and sounds mighty defensive?
No, I don't think he wants to be impeached at all. And this is a game of chicken that he's playing with the Congress. He's daring them. And I don't think he really wants to go through this trial. Think about him defending himself on the Senate floor with the prosecutors from the House presenting their case point by point. This would be sheer misery for him. And yet it may be the duty of the House to pursue it. To go back to his comment about dirty, filthy, disgusting, this is where politics and marketing come together. In the 90s, Newt Gingrich promoted the idea of using hot words to associate your opponent with things that were upsetting to voters. So he's attaching these words, dirty, filthy, disgusting, to the concept of impeachment as a marketing ploy.
You think it's going to work for him?
It's selling an I think it works with his base, and I think it will cause some people to pause as they reflect on the idea of impeachment, but it's not a good long-term strategy. People can see past the marketing and grasp what's going on, I think.
Michael Dantonio and Jamie Gingell, thank you both very much. One day after Robert Mueller broke his silence on the Russia investigation, more Democrats are